interrupt this production to let you know that the next section on Jonnu Smith was actually recorded before Hunter Henry signed. So the Hunter Henry sign kind of ruins everything, but it actually doesn't, because it really doesn't affect anything on Jonnu Smith about what I talk about next. But just to give you a bit of a spoiler, I want even less Jonnu Smith than I did before. So let's carry on. So next we need to talk about Jonnu Smith and how he has done exactly nothing in his entire time in the NFL. His career to date is extremely uninspiring. His career high is 448 receiving yards. That's the best season of his career. In the best season of his career, he had 448 receiving yards. Anthony Firkser, a fellow tight end, had 387. Jonnu Smith wasn't good enough to make Anthony Firkser irrelevant. He's definitely not going to be a difference-making tight end at the NFL level at any point. And I get it, like, his career stats are not impressive. I get that. He played in Tennessee where the forward pass goes to die. But was he efficient at least? And no, of course he wasn't. He had 6.9 yards per target in an efficient offense. That's tight end 19. Tight end 19. His true catch rate was 80.4%. That's number 36. Tight end 36. That's worse than Mike Gesicki. That's so bad. His yards per route run, 1.63, number 13 in the league. That was okay. Wasn't good, but it was okay. So, like, we're talking about a Mike Gesicki level efficiency kind of player. This isn't someone you want to buy in on. Last year, he finished as a tight end 1. He was tight end 12, right on the nose. He had 10 fantasy points per game, but the way he got there is it's just funny. It's just funny. He had 448 receiving yards, as I mentioned. That was tight end 20, so he didn't do it on touchdowns. He had he didn't do it on yardage. He had 9 touchdowns. A 20.9% touchdown rate. He outperformed the touchdowns that he outperformed his yardage by nearly double. He outperformed his catch touchdown rate by, almost triple. He was the number 3 tight end in touchdowns. That's how he got to be tight end 12. It was all touchdowns. Cam Newton's touchdown rate, 4.4%. In 2020, it was 2.2%. Ryan Tannehill's touchdown rate last year was 7.1%. There is major regression coming in that department for Jonnu Smith. Major regression coming. And then there's this whole other narrative out there. You know, the Patriots have a long history of featuring the tight end. If you just look at their targets, the tight ends every year, it's really, really good. So, like, they're going to feature Jonnu. And I mean, I get it, but here's the thing. Usage is driven by personnel, more so than scheme. Good coaches put good players in position to score fantasy points. So when Gronk was on the field, they really featured Gronk, because Gronk's one of the best tight ends we've ever seen. So of course they did. I was actually tagged in a tweet today, and it said that we should expect tight end usage similar to the Josh McDaniels-led teams in these specific years, 2006, 2012, 2014, 2015, and 2017. I thought it's weird years to pick. So I didn't go back and look at 2006 because it's forever ago. Doesn't really matter. But 2012, 14, 15, and 17, and I thought, well, what's going on here? So I went to Gronk's player page on Pro Football Reference, and I looked up those specific years. 2012, Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez combined for about 1,200 yards. In 2014, Gronk had 1,100 yards. In 2015, Gronk had 1,100 yards. And in 2017, Gronk had 1,100 yards. And I thought, well, that might be why the usage spikes in those years. What happened in the other years? What happened in the years in between? Well, in 2013, Gronk only played 7 games. In 2016, Gronk only played 8 games. In 2018, Gronk was basically playing his way into retirement. And then in 2019, Gronk was retired. And then in 2020, Gronk played in Tampa. You know who they didn't feature in those years? The backup tight ends that were taking Gronk's spot. They only feature the tight end when it's Rob Gronkowski, because good coaches feature good players. That's how it works. These guys own their volume when they are elite assets. Jonnu Smith is not an elite asset. He's playing with Anthony Firkser, and he's giving up the same number of targets almost. They're not comparable at all. Do not expect Gronk usage. Expect the opposite. Expect the 2013 and the 2016 and the 2018 and the 2019 and the 2020 usage. That's what you should expect. I mean, maybe a little better than 2020. Jonnu Smith is a lot better player than Ryan Izzo is. So there is that. It'll be a little better than that. But the moral of the story here is it's not a scheme thing. It's a player thing. It's a personnel thing. If you have Rob Gronkowski on your team, you feature Rob Gronkowski. Jonnu Smith doesn't have that kind of pull. He is not the center of the universe. Like, he's not the sun in the offense where everything comes to him. Rob Gronkowski is. He has the gravitational pull. Jonnu Smith's a guy in the offense. He's a role player. He's a good role player, but he's still a role player. What can we expect from Jonnu in 2021? Well, Cam averages 32 attempts per game. As I mentioned, Jonnu's career high was a 16% target share while splitting time with Anthony Firkser. Could it go up? Sure, of course it could, but let's presume it doesn't. Let's presume he duplicates his career best season. Cam goes back to his average. That gives us 32 attempts at 16%. That's 5 targets per game. Times 16 games is 82 targets. That puts him firmly in the tight ends don't matter range. He will be in the tight end 15 to 6 to 15, somewhere in there, maybe a little lower. He'll be a fringe tight end 1, completely irrelevant. So if you're buying Jonnu Smith, you are either hoping for Cam to have one of the best seasons of his career in terms of volume, or you need Jonnu to expand his target share by almost 6 percentage points just to get to a tight ends matter level. 6 percentage points. That's a huge upgrade for a 5th-year player. We're not talking about a guy going from rookie year to year 2 or year 2 to year 3. We're talking about a guy going into year 5. Now, there is precedent for these types of things happening where players change team, they have a new situation, everything changes. I sincerely doubt it. If he was making Anthony Firkser irrelevant, then okay, we can talk about it. But he wasn't. Firkser and Jonnu were basically equal last year, except Jonnu got a whole bunch of touchdowns and Firkser never. That's the difference. Betting on Jonnu to fill Gronk's shoes is wishing upon a star.